feel like my image was attacked and it was very nasty. And I still kept a smile on my face even though I was uncomfortable. This is the exact reason I don't do interviews with men or anything, because at the end of the day, I am a female. Because it's a lot of bitter men in the comments that need Jesus and need some help. How the are y'all gonna get mad at somebody if I never had the experience with men, even tried it, and mostly they're homosexual? I feel like your platform works for ugly men who don't get no type of play or no type of motherfucking action.
What's up, YouTube? JayBReacts back in with another video. Now I want to start this off by saying I told y'all that this woman was not comfortable on that podcast that she was on, the ex Cornstar. She has made a video responding to being on Trigger Alert. Now for me, this is nothing but excuses, because you have to do your due diligence to find out who's trying to bring you on a podcast, whether it be for an interview, a panel, debate, whatever it is. You need to do your own research. But I knew it. I saw when she was on the podcast with my previous video, when I reacted to that podcast, she was very uncomfortable and she was looking like a deer in headlights. She didn't know where she was at. And after hearing this response video, if the shoe fits, I guess. But we're gonna break down this clip to see if she is right or wrong. But I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of that. Make sure y'all like the video, hype the video, comment below. Without further ado, let's dive into the content.
Good morning. So, Ugly Monster Meech. I just want to say
First of all, she called this nigga Ugly Monster Meech.
I feel like I have been blindsided on this whole situation, because when you hit me up in my DM, you was talking about, I want you to be on my podcast. I had no idea what your podcast was. I agreed because I'm thinking, you want me to talk about my story. Everyone knows I used to do porn, but you did not do your research on me. When I got there, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, we finna have a conversation, all right? And, you know, we talk about what I've been through, what I'm doing now. We didn't have that. When I figured out what type of podcast it was, as you can see, I kept my answers and questions very limited, because it didn't matter what I said. Y'all was gonna press the button and, you know, do what you do.
Just an avid watcher of the show. If someone says something that makes sense, he actually agrees with the woman.
That's your content. My content is not that. I'm not on YouTube or anything like that. So I should have did my research, or I would have said no, because I am looked at as a negative space. Even when I told you these questions don't got nothing to do with me, they have something to do with women that date actual men, be in relationships with them. I even said I was a sex traffic survivor. Y'all pushed it off. I said I date women. Y'all pushed it off. You told me to act like, you know, a what if situation.
Well, the thing about it is, he brought you in there because he knows that you still have a brain in your head. So that means that you still understand how relationships work. Even if you're not in one with a female, even if you're not in one with a man, you can still present a dynamic or an opinion to a dynamic that might work. And then he has to get your opinion on that so that we can answer the question, get everybody opinions, whether it's right or wrong. The show is called Trigger Alert. He might ask questions and say things that possibly might trigger you.
And then we was supposed to do an interview tomorrow to talk about my life, and you have just clipped different pieces. I never said
He does that.
I use men. They paid me. Why the do I gotta use somebody that would pay me? I don't talk to men.
Bruh, that's not it.
I don't date them.
So like you
don't talk to men?
So you never have, like it's never been a thing, like you've never
Like, not talk to them like I'ma be with them, but money wise, yeah.
Wow.
that ugly.
Wow. I'm so lost. I'm confused.
That's Brittany Trill, bro.
Okay.
Please explain why you don't talk to men, but money-wise you talk to men.
I used to be a popular porn star named Monroe Sweets.
Okay.
Trust me, I know.
We know.
So, like, I would talk to them on money-wise. It wasn't like, I want to be with you. I don't look at people like that. So I don't want to waste nobody's time. Like, all that lying and being like, oh, daddy, I'm going to be with you. I'm not. I can't stand men. I fuck with them, but I can't stand them.
What about men can't you stand?
How do you become a porn star?
They overly freaky. Most people be so cocky.
So are you when we got money.
Ooh.
I will not allow you to be over here.
Respect. Come on.
Talk about you can't stand me. But if I got a right amount of money, you can stand me all goddamn night.
I'm very open with my past and what I got going on in my future. I don't like confusion. And I feel like that whole clip is caused confusion because I was with the 50-50 and all that if I dated a man, but I don't care for him. And then I even said, you know, ask me something else. And I get it. That's your platform. But what you did was kind of make me upset at the fact that you took bits and pieces and put it in one. I told you I was the ex-porn star, meaning ex, meaning I haven't did anything in 5 years pertaining to film.
The funny thing is that he didn't even bring up her porn star lifestyle. He didn't bring up nothing about her past. He didn't bring up nothing about being in porn. All the questions were related to what was going on in the now and how it relates to relationships.
And I still kept a smile on my face, even though I was uncomfortable. Why would I get my makeup done, drive almost an hour to a place where it was going to be a battle royale? That's not what I'm about.
Take accountability.
Now, continue to keep that post up and all this other stuff. I wish you well, but this is the exact reason I don't do interviews with men or anything, because at the end of the day, I am a female. My way of thinking ain't nobody's way of thinking.
It's the I'm a female part that kind of got me, because it just it just oozes out victim a little bit. Like, oh, I'm a female, so you can't treat me like this, or I think like this. This is why. No, we all got to be accountable as people for the actions that we make.
I never used what I went through as a crutch. I talk about all the shit I done did. So pussy, all this other stuff. I feel like my image was attacked, and it was very nasty that...
You know what's funny? A lot of people didn't even know who she was from the comment section on the reaction that I did. She said her image was attacked. It was a clip. Nobody would have even known who you were. He interviews a lot of women that's in Atlanta, whether they be strippers, nightlife workers, just regular women. You just got mixed in with the rest of them. I saw this way prior. I didn't even know who you were until I really watched it. So to sit right here and act like this is something that a lot of people, so to sit right here and act like this is targeted towards you because of who you are, he never did that on the show.
You didn't really let me fully talk about the stuff I've been through and why this is my way of thinking, because that's not what type of time you were on. So at the end of the day, I hate that that clip was posted like that, because all that stuff that you said basically was twisting up. I didn't fully say that because you didn't put no context after what I said.
But everything that you gonna want from me gonna cost me. That ugly money. And you got a standard. That ugly money. And now you saying, well, I'm not gonna submit unless you make it. Like, I can't cook, clean, and do the free shit. You just said that you would not submit if this nigga didn't make more than you. That ugly money. Go ahead, baby.
What I said is the submissive, that's too damn controlling. If a motherfucker is fucking with you, cooking and cleaning up is already mandatory.
Control. So when we talk about control, I'm pretty sure you've had some kind of employment in your past, correct? You've had a job before or some kind of employment, right? So when the director comes on set and he says, hey, I need you out on set in 10 minutes, that's not controlling?
That's your job.
The way she look.
God damn. Y'all again. Black women will submit to their boss at their job quicker than they will submit to a man that loves them at the house. God damn it. Boss at the job can
this
tell
is
you what
amazing.
to wear, what not to wear, when to come, when not to come. But as soon as Tyrone wants your ass to do something for him, he's controlling. You know that director was controlling. Arch your back. Open your eyes. Poke it out. That's control.
That's real though.
I love your ass. I just wanted you to cook.
But it's fine because I'm seeing this is how the social media works. But I don't like stuff like that. I don't argue with men. I don't downplay men. I simply say my experiences because that's what I did. Everybody keeps talking about how women use men and all this other stuff, but men use women. Y'all, everybody use each other, right? But at the same time, motherfuckers is getting women pregnant. They're good enough to fuck and talk about, but they're not good enough to marry.
She's talking about the guys who are actually able to get chosen by these women. I'm guarantee you that she's very selective. If she was to choose a guy, he would have to be an exceptional guy. So guess what? You chose that guy. Majority of guys don't even get that opportunity.
A motherfucker will sit up here and criticize the fact that I did porn, but still want to pay to fuck me or pay me to fuck them. I say nothing. My DMs will end a lot of households. I am somebody that is.
Can imagine.
So I don't like mess. I don't like drama. I'm not one of them people that need the views for stuff like that. I don't like how my image was perceived. Whether I did anything in my personal life, that shit went left on that interview.
I don't know how. I mean,
and I hate that. I hate that for me.
Ma'am, you really worrying about that interview when you got scenes still up online of you getting like busted. Like, I don't understand how you could be mad at the podcast and you didn't even do your research. I'm gonna let it finish playing. I'm gonna get my thoughts at the end.
Keep your content, stuff like that. But I won't be doing no more type of interviews with men at all. I don't hate men. I don't care to. I just mind my business.
Do you live in a kitchen? What is all that noise?
My content is about uplifting and letting motherfuckers know, regardless of their past, they could change their life and, keep it moving. I don't do stuff like that. Because if I did, a lot of motherfuckers would be trying to kill me if I started exposing how these motherfuckers men's train of thought is thinking. I just think the situation could have went better. And you should probably do your research on people, because I get it. You like, oh, I'm finna put a porn star on here. But
he's had strippers on there. Prostitute, escort.
I'm just gonna let you have that.
All of them been on there.
Respectfully. Thank you for having me on your platform, but no thank you. Because all this was uncalled for. I got grown ass men being sassy in my DM. Motherfuckers thinking I'm pathetic or something, and I'm not. I don't need any man talking about, I don't care about your past. That's the goofiest shit I ever heard. Because not once did I sit up here and act like I was better than anybody or anything. But with all that being said, I'm going to go on my TikTok and, talk about the situation as well, because it's a lot of bitter men in the comments that need Jesus and need some help. How the f*** are y'all going to get mad at somebody if I never had the experience with men, even tried it, and mostly they're homosexual?
Hold on. She said she never experienced men. Regardless whether you're getting paid for it or not, you definitely had an experience with man. You just didn't want to date men, but you still had sex with men. I mean,
they're sassy. They have needs. They have needs. When I say overly freaky, that's because men that be on their shit, those be the main ones that want to be humiliated, spit on, f***ed in the ass, have mommy issues, calling me Big Daddy, having me wear strap-ons around the f***ing house and asking me to stroke it. The same man that are CEOs and got all this motherfucking money, that's when I say overly freaky. I don't give a fuck if I suck 20 goddamn dicks on the camera. That's my prerogative. Y'all have to be careful with what y'all be doing to certain women, because my platform don't do none of that.
It's kind of crazy though how it's like the pot calling the kettle black. We understand there's like guys out there who are into some weird, sick things for sure. But the thing about it, that you participate in it and then act like you like better than the situation that you in is wild to me.
I'm honestly disgusted at the situation because now I'm arguing with people I don't know, getting death threats and from goofy ass, grown ass men who are hurt because they never will have a chance in hell with an attractive woman.
That is crazy. That is what a line has to be drawn on guys sending. Why even message her, guys? Like, why? Why even do that? Because we already know you ain't gonna have a shot with her most likely because she's moved by the money and you probably ain't or even on her radar. All that death threat stuff, that's weird. That's just a waste of time and energy. And I think that's just goofy. But we are on the internet and that's just probably a part of it.
I feel like your platform works for ugly men who don't get no type of play or no type of motherfucking action. I said I'm all about my money. All I do is work. I'm not interested in no relationships or nothing. I said that. I said I believe going in 50-50. But every time I said something, it was a rebuttal and a different type of situation. I don't like how this stuff panned out at all.
All right, that's the end of it. I think ultimately this is going to fall under lack of accountability and lack of situational awareness. Because if you knew where you were going, you would know how to move accordingly and agree or disagree to going to said event. I think that's the two main issues, accountability and situational awareness. I'm not about to go bashing this woman's situation, her history or whatnot, because she already know what she has done. It's all out there on the internet. She already knows the life that she has chosen. And I know she said back in the day that she was trafficked and some other things that's unfortunate happened to her. But this is one of those things where you have to be situationally aware. I don't know how her situational awareness was back then, but even how she came into this situation, you weren't aware and then it just happened. We do have to learn and grow as a people to where we understand how to mitigate risk. We just have to, because now it's going to always sound like you're a victim. It's going to always sound like you blaming somebody. It's going to be no accountability in place as for the actions that we take. So that's probably the first thing that I see, first and foremost, that I think she has made during this response video to her being on the podcast that I can actually critique. You know, you're going to feel the way how you feel. You know, you can say the podcast that bashes women, the whole nine. You can say and feel like that, but it's his platform. And just because it's, you know, it might hurt or it might feel a certain way, don't mean it's not true. Doesn't mean he doesn't speak from a place of caring. You know, whether the message comes out a little rough, don't mean it's wrong. So I think that's where a lot of the issues have come from with the response and how she just feels towards the video. I think all of us as people, we got to just be accountable for our actions. None of this would even happen if she just would have done the research where she was going at. You know, the reaction, well, the initial video, the reaction of people, the clips, her reacting to the reaction of the clip is like, none of it would have happened if the situational awareness. I think this is a bigger problem that has to be solved possibly from her to say that, hey, I might need to be a little more situational aware. I need to have more situational awareness and I need to take a little bit more accountability. I don't know how she makes her money. I don't know what other things that she do behind the scenes, but I do believe that some of these people who work in these dark industries, see, the sad part is that they see the dark side, the worst sides of people. You're going to see the nastiest and nastiest of things. So just say that men are hella freaky. You got a lot of guys who are not into that stuff that you witness or you are witnessing. A lot of guys don't want to get their butt played with. They don't want that. I know for sure no. A lot of straight men don't like that. But when you're in these cities possibly that's comprised of a lot of this, you know, behavior, of course you're going to say that men are freaky and stuff like that. But that's why I say we got to still understand the whole product of your environment, how much of that is our fault as well, as to how long we stay in it. How do we want to leave it? You know, you can't really remove yourself from an industry like that once you done been in it for so long. That's what you just looked at as. because I'm pretty sure you may still get requests. And do you bite? That's gonna be up for you to know. If somebody offering 5 to 10 bands, I don't know. That's gonna be up to you and your decision. But once you in that life, you just in that life. I think you just gotta embody and take everything that come with it. That's why I really don't think you can erase certain passes. Can't be erased. You just always the people how people view you is because of how you've been putting yourself out there. If you may have a banging body, but nobody knows what you've done, they only can go so far with calling you things. But when people know and see the track record and all that stuff, yes, they can come up with even more assumptions and say more things. People can be very vicious. People are vicious. So you have to still be careful and mindful of the way how you move. But it is what it is. If the money was worth it, cool. If you live in the life you want to live, cool. But you got people who are rich who don't have to do that too. So it just ways how to play the game. It is what it is. But like I said, that was my thoughts on it. I said I'm not about to bash her, bash anybody about it. I think it was unnecessary response because like I said, you just got to know where you going. The awareness, the accountability. But make sure y'all like the video, comment below. It's your guy JayBReacts. Until next time, y'all. Peace.